Welcome to the first ever Global Sport in Colour sports magazine show. I'm joined by Rodney Hines, sports editor for The Voice newspaper, and the owner of Nothing Long, Michael Facey. Nothing Long TV, Nothing Long Sports. You've seen it here before. Boys, it's a pleasure. We've been talking about this for a long time, haven't we? Yeah, so it's a pleasure to sit down with you and be able to go through some of the pertinent issues in sport this week. Where should we start? I reckon the big fight this weekend. What do you reckon?
Haye Bellew.
Haye Bellew. Thoughts, predictions. Rodney, go on, kick off, mate.
Oh, tell you what. Listen, I've fallen out of love with boxing for a little while, right? And the main reason for that is because I think that genuine matchups have been short. This is a genuine matchup. I know about the heavyweight cruiserweight scenario, but there is some hatred in this room. I have winced at some of the things that David Haye has said. If you said that to a man on the road, you're getting knocked away on the other.
Well, there'd be a fight, wouldn't there?
Yeah, there would be. I'm really looking forward to it. I won't say it's a 50-50 bout for me. I think that Haye will do the business. But I think Bellew's spirit and no little ability either. I don't think we want to put that to one side.
No, of course
I think he's going to... I think it's going to be a hell of a scrap. I think we saw, was it Chisora White not too long ago?
Yeah.
I think we could be talking about this one in the same breath.
I'm not sure, if I'm being honest. I think the athleticism of Haye, it just makes too much of a difference, to be honest with you. We've seen Bellew.
Haye of old, you mean?
There you go. With a decent shoulder.
I don't know.
Haye of old. I mean, he hasn't been that athletic since he's been back.
But he hasn't. He has put on the weight, but he looks in good shape.
He does.
He has actually trimmed down. He does.
I think that's a measure of the opponent he's facing, because as I said, I think there's some genuine hatred here. And you don't want to slip up on a night, on Saturday night. You can't. So you do the extra, don't you?
He's at home as well. I mean, they're both at home, but I mean, like,
he's a London boy, isn't
he? Yeah, he's at home. So I can't really see David losing this one, to be honest with you. I think Tony's going to get found out.
We all love our sport. We all know about the unpredictability. If Bellew was to win, none of us are going to fall over with total surprise.
Not really, no.
Not when you've had Trump doing what he's doing, Leicester City doing what he's doing, times two. You know what I mean? That's winning the championship and losing their manager.
No,
so,
I agree.
Yeah, it's
going
to be a cracker.
I mean, it's funny. There was a bit of hostility up in Liverpool at the first press conference.
You're being kind.
Yeah.
And it was racism.
Well, listen, all I know is that there was a lot of fans in that press conference.
There was.
And, that's not something you really see down in London.
There wasn't.
It wasn't supposed to be publicised, though.
Yeah, that's right.
So what happened there? Because there was queues going out around the block.
I don't know what happened, but I know that David Haye was bleeped out a couple of times on Sky Sports when he was responded to those. And I thought, hello.
I spoke to a colleague of mine at the BBC who managed to get an interview up in Liverpool, and he said it was hostile, really, really hostile, and actually wasn't much of the interview that they could find left for them to be able to use with David Haye, because he was a bit riled up at the end.
And that hostility adds to the mix, doesn't it?
Spice.
It adds to the mix.
We got the London one anyway coming up.
True.
We'll see what
True.
happens from there.
I mean, by the time this goes out, we would have done the London one, and people would have seen, anything that goes on and transpires there. But I think Dave will be a lot calmer, to be honest with you. I expect him to be calm as the fight comes.
Has to go that way, I think. Yeah, I think so. Because it may not last too long if we don't have some level of calm.
True.
I think he's enjoying himself anyway as well. I definitely think David's actually enjoying being a co-promoter on the fight.
This guy's been promoting himself since 2003.
And doing it relatively
very well.
And don't forget, we've always got to look at the bigger picture. David knows a convincing win, or any sort of win against Bellew, takes him into what I call Joshua country, doesn't it?
And that's the big fight.
Do you know what I mean?
Everybody wants to fight Joshua.
Well, he wants to fight Joshua.
He wants to just,
Well, everyone wants
and
to fight Joshua.
It's about the pound, shilling and pence at the end of the day.
True.
You know what I mean? And, Joshua Haye, I tell you now, wherever I am in the world...
Getting watched.
It's getting watched.
It's getting watched. If we can, we'll attend.
Wembley Arena.
If we can. But we'll come on to that some other time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, well, listen, that's Haye Bellew. That's the big fight this weekend. Let me ask you a question. There's a few fights on the undercard. That O'Hara Davis is getting a bit of coverage, isn't he? Bit of noise. What do you reckon?
He's a champion, isn't he?
Yeah. Fancy him?
Silver.
Well, they're fighting for that, aren't they?
Silver champion. Yeah, he is the actual champion.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's the actual champion.
Sorry, O'Hara. We should know, shouldn't we?
Yeah, no, he's the champion. I mean, we went to see him, didn't we? You wasn't there. Me and the photographer went to see him, watched him train. O'Hara's decent. He's been in it for a long time. He's put himself about. He deserves it. He is the silver champion eventually, so he deserves a shot at retaining his belt. And
let me tell you something. I said at the top, right? Listen, I've fallen out of love with boxing. Did you say silver champion? What is that nowadays? Does it make sense? We got listen, I grew up in the time of WBC, WBA.
Yeah.
Then the IBF was introduced. The only thing we haven't had now is the IKEA, MFI. No, but what a
I'll
championship.
tell you what, we've got the IBO.
Silver.
We've got the IBO belt. Eubank
Silver
Junior's got.
champion.
Hey, listen, that IBO belt was a respected belt back in the day. I don't know what's happened to it.
Listen, I was in a time when genuine champion fought genuine champion. There wasn't a let's create another organisation so I can slip and slide away. But that's where the sport is now, and I know it's all about business.
Oh, I was going to say, could that be because of that? Because there's so much different control and different belts. It's almost like there isn't just one belt for one king, and that's all it is.
You know, just the other day, I think I did a YouTube moment, Hagler Hearns,
Yeah.
3 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever it was, fantastic. The best of the best fought each other. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But listen, it is
I
what
don't
it is.
know.
now.
We'll find out. And if you haven't picked up your Voice newspaper this week, go and do so, because we've got the David Haye story on page 34, and it looks quite good, even if I do say so
Fired up
myself.
Haye looking to do legal damage.
Yeah,
and I must say, in terms of being sports at The Voice, we've got our top report on that particular story.
Yes. That's yours truly, of course. Yeah, definitely. If you haven't picked up your Voice this week, go and do that. On the back page of the Voice this week, and moving on from boxing, is Lewis Hamilton, who launched the new Mercedes car for 2017 this week at Silverstone. Facey and I were in attendance.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a great day, good day. We always like to be around Lewis. It's nice to support the man up close rather than miles away. And he looked pleased to see us. Before we even talk about that, let's just watch the interview. 10 years after we sat down in that white room in the McLaren Centre, you said to me that you wanted to inspire, you wanted to be the person that people look up to. As succinctly as you can, how has that been in the last 10 years? Because every year I get inundated with people that want to be just like Lewis Hamilton.
That's crazy. Well, first, it's good to see you here. We need to see you more often.
Well, I'd like to organise that.
Yeah.
Maybe you could school Rose on who I am. Not treating me very well today.
Oh, no. Well, we'll change it. But yeah, I think there's so many people that are inspiring and doing great things, but the dream was to be amongst those who are doing great things and positive things and inspiring people from different backgrounds. And I'm super proud of what us as a family have done. We're in Formula One in the pinnacle of motorsport, and we're the only black family there, and we're still there chugging away, and often at the top, which is a great thing and a real privilege. And yeah, I'm getting more and more black families, Asian families coming up to me saying, hey, we one day want to be racing drivers, and I feel very proud to be a part of that, hopefully sparking an interest that perhaps wasn't there in the past times.
I'd like to know, in your opinion, what it is that separates Lewis Hamilton from the other drivers on the circuit.
He's the most successful modern F1 driver. Mega talent, like you probably only see every 20 years. And character off the track. At the moment, the only superstar among the F1 drivers. And that has made him a triple world champion.
He serves as a great role model for aspiring drivers in the UK, especially those that emanate from the black and minority ethnic community. Do you see that being a trend that continues as the years go past? Do you think we'll see more and more Lewis Hamiltons in the future?
I really love that he's an inspiring sportman. And sometimes we tend to underestimate that he has a real impact and he's a real role model for young drivers. And he knows that, and that is great. And we don't want to have Lewis as the only black driver in Formula One. There should be more, and I think if he can be an inspiration to others, it's great.
Mike.
Yeah.
Toto, he was real. That was as real as I've seen him. Really,
He did give us a nice detailed breakdown of and the respect of how inspiring Lewis is to a big community of people that actually watch him.
And it's key that they know this. And one of the things that stood out about that interview with him was the fact that he said it's easy to underestimate the impact that Lewis has. We've seen that at close quarters, haven't we, Rod?
Absolutely.
It's like McLaren got it when he was at McLaren. Mercedes are getting it now that he's at Mercedes. But we need the whole sport to get it, don't we?
Yeah, that's right.
We do, and listen, The Voice and Lewis Hamilton, they go together. I mean, we follow this young man when he did what he did in terms of karting, and now doing what he's doing. Listen, you were there live and direct, and just reading your words on the back page, I did get the sense that it's a seminal moment for the sport and for Lewis. That I think we talked about it during the course of the week. It's more than money now, isn't it? It's about that. It's about that Lauda, Senna, Prost type legacy. Now.
That's right.
I mean, being there, he was very relaxed. He didn't feel or look like a person that just lost the championship a couple months back.
Yeah, he's a champion.
He
right.
actually came into it as the champion.
Yeah.
And he was just relaxed, like he is chasing that next level of
greatness.
I mean, I think what great champions have to do, they have to undergo what he did last year.
Yeah.
When, to all intents and purposes, he should have won it. Should have been 4 in the bag. But that's the nature of sport.
Agreed.
Listen, if you've got a spare 50p, you put it on him to claim the world title again, and that title might probably be the most satisfying for him because he's done what he's done. You have to suffer defeat, some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes or literally on the track. Lewis going somewhere special for me, going somewhere really special.
I mean, listen, to win 3 titles is amazing. If he was to make it 4, that would be just outstanding. I mean, when you look at some of the, I'm going to call it adversity that he's had to deal with.
Adversity is right.
When you look at some of the adverse situations he's had to put up with, it's a credit to the man that he's able to recalibrate, get his mind right.
Good grounding.
And get definitely
we might not see
credit
his
to
dad
Anthony.
as visibly as we used to, but that good grounding, the family, the brother, etc., etc. That's, listen, I think that when you're winning world titles or sports people are doing what they're doing successfully, it's easy to look at them and applaud.
Great.
It's when it goes wrong, when it's dark and dingy and it's just them, far from the madding crowd, that's when you grow. And I think we're going to see a grown Lewis Hamilton this year.
I mean, they've dominated in the last 3 seasons. I think they've won something like 95% of all the Grand Prix got on the podium. More of the same this year?
Well, it looks close. I've been watching the testing.
Yeah, in Barcelona.
Yeah. Lewis was top on day 1, but just. Ferrari top on day 2.
I saw Kimi.
And that was on soft tyres, and he was on super softs, and he comes second. So it looks competitive this year.
I mean, I think we all want it to be more competitive, really, don't we?
I think so.
I mean, it was competitive, Rosberg, Hamilton. That's what really set the juices flowing. But I think Red Bull will be better this year. I think Ferrari will be better this year.
Even Williams looked good. Actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So, listen, if it's competitive, I'd still expect Lewis to win the title.
It's interesting from the testing that I've seen, and I agree with you, Ross, but from the testing that I've seen this year, reliability of the Mercedes is excellent.
Excellent.
I think at this moment in time, they're putting like 360 laps. I think the closest behind them was like 60 laps by either Ferrari or
and they crashed as well,
Red Bull,
so it's not just unreliable.
One thing I would want to say, you talked about Lewis winning titles 3 times, should have been 4, but it didn't quite happen. The fact that the reigning world champion won it and quit,
retired,
suggests to me how hard it is to do it. It takes a strain, and I think he alluded to that, Rosberg, didn't he?
He did.
So the fact that Lewis has done it 3 times, looking to go again, and has the potential to do a Schumacher, hasn't he, in terms of multiple titles,
he does.
and I don't want to sort of count the chickens before they hatch, it shows you the pressure that's on.
Sir Lewis, if he does get
without question.
I'll touch on that one another time as well. Moving swiftly on, we've got Bellator later in the year. Mixed martial arts coming to. You know what? We're mentioning Bellator. Let's just talk about mixed martial arts full stop, because we've got the UFC with a gig in a week or so, or just over a week or so's time at the O2. Jimmy Manuwa, big up Jimmy Manuwa, is going to be fighting, and he's looking to progress in that light heavyweight division. But one of the light heavyweight matchups that really caught my attention was Liam McGreary versus Lenton Vassell, which is being made for the Bellator gig. That's a great fight.
No. Listen, a few days ago I watched a couple clips of both fighters, and I was trying to work out where's it going to go, who's going to win. It's quite a technical one, because Liam's great on the ground. He's one of the best. If you put him down, we'll somehow find a submission move.
It'll wrap you
up.
up.
On the way down.
Winners find a way.
Linton's very strong in the air, and he's got a good ground game. I don't know.
See, that fight there is going to be, for me, one that it tests the patience of the fans, and it's going to be one for the purists, because both like to be on the ground. The ground games are great. But as you said, Liam can wrap anybody up on the way down. And when you're down there, you might look like you're in a position of strength, but he's got it within him.
Do you know what? I mean,
tie you up.
However controversial this may or may not sound, for me, I think the MMA thing hasn't fired my imagination in a way that it has yours. And I mean, but I do recognise what's going on, and I still think that's a sport that's a little bit untouched. I think there's a lot more to go. The potential is
I
enormous.
agree, and I think that's what the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, IMF, and shout out to everybody down there who's doing their thing. I think that's what they're really trying to galvanise. They're really trying to pull a grassroots element to the sport. Together, so that there is a recognised pathway for people that are not only just taking up an interest in the sport, but actually want to go on, and see themselves as semi-professional and then professional. Do you know what I mean? So I think that it's going to take time. They've done well.
But a momentum's building.
No, definitely. I mean, the fact that the UFC were able to sell for as much as they were, 4.odd billion last year,
that's right.
suggests to me there's a healthy interest. A lot of the criticism that came with that was that the actual fight game itself is gone a bit corporate. So the fans that were involved in the sport, were attending shows, aren't necessarily being enveloped and embraced in the same way that they were.
Is that sport in general, though?
You might have a point, Mike. You might have a point. Yeah, you might have a point.
I think it's evolution, and we have to be more acceptable to the evolution.
No, I agree. And the thing is, for me though, I can't wait to see the respect for what we're doing over here as Brits really kind of take hold across the world. I think that we've got some great fighters. Paul Daly obviously was banned from the UFC, but he's a great fighter and everybody knows it around the world. I think the likes of Lou McGreevy and Linton Vassell have made a great name for themselves within Bellator.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them fight for a different organisation, not saying their names, and maybe replicate that success.
Let me ask you guys a question, and listen, MMA is your thing much more so than mine, as I said. But do you think that the progression and progress of British boxing as it stands right now, from the Anthony Joshuas of this world, the James DeGales, etc., is that helping or hindering MMA in terms of its profile and projection?
Do you know what? I honestly look at. I mean,
because there's a renaissance at the moment.
No, definitely, and we've got 13 world champions at the moment, 12 world champions. So I think what's happened. I tell you how I see it. There's definitely a renaissance with those two sports, full stop, for me, and I think there's a synergy. Just the fact that we can get a press release or an email from the Mayweather camp, for instance, or Rodney, and the first line is there's a potential fight with Conor McGregor, speaks volumes to me. There's one of the biggest names in boxing, talking about arguably one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name in mixed martial arts, and talking about crossing over. They need each other. They recognise that there are similarities within the way that the sports are sold, not necessarily the audiences. I think hardcore MMA love MMA, hardcore boxers love boxers, but I think that there's a kind of celebration of the fact that they're two combat sports. Everyone likes to see heads getting bashed in.
That's right.
And
that's what it is.
And maybe one of the biggest things of all is
instinct.
intrigue, isn't it?
And I think it goes back to the point you were saying in regards to boxing.
Yeah.
It's the matchups as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're trying to match up MVP, Michael Venom Page, Paul Daly. We've got Linton Vassell and Liam. So it's the matchup.
Good British interest.
Yeah,
healthy British interest.
Yeah, and that makes a change.
No, definitely. If you haven't got your tickets for that, get down there and get them.
In the light heavyweight division in Bellator, it's very exciting. They have you have King Mo, Linton Vassell, you have Phil Davies. There's a lot of people in the division, and I've got my eyes on them all. I've never backed down from a fight. I've never turned one down, no matter how many people there are. This is what I do, and I cannot wait to get back in there. And when I fight again, whenever I fight, I want to fight very closely afterwards, and again after that, and again after that.
Yeah, hi, this is Derek Chisora reporting for Derek Chisora TV. When I see great athletes sitting up on the podium, I like that. This is a question for both fighters, actually. What do you guys respect about each other, and what don't you like about each other?
It's a difficult question. There's nothing I dislike about Michael, okay? He's a great fighter. He's done great things for the time he's been in the sport. But from my point of view, I just feel like he is that internet, social media, paid viewers type, look at me type fighter. I've done it the hard way as such.
No one's ever seen me do this before, so there's obviously a reason behind it. And like I say, I don't care for people. Anybody that talks to me about, such and such has said this, or people are saying that, it doesn't bother me. Yes, we've taken two different paths to come to the same place. That's it. But what him saying, relating our past. If I was training with him back then, I would have gone the same route as him, but I came from a different place. I came from freestyle. You came from full contact kickboxing. So it's different. So him saying, one thing, I respect this fighter, I don't have any malice. But then when he's by himself saying, that guy's not on my level, man. He's Adrian Broner to me. Blah, that don't make sense. I'm saying my thing is, if you were saying that before, it wouldn't bother me. And again, all these call-outs wouldn't have even happened. Because he would have been saying that from scratch. He would have been calling me Justin Bieber, calling me whatever you want to. Say it while I'm here.
Talking about tickets, full house at Wembley. Actually, it wasn't a full house. It wasn't. No, it wasn't a full house. We had more fans in that Wembley Stadium for Tottenham versus Ghent.
Well, it was that
EFL final between Man United and
Yeah, but
Southampton.
it was a
Just
decider.
saying, well done, you Tottenham supporters.
And then they went
even
on
though
side,
we're at
didn't
Europe.
they?
Yeah, all right. Text it, all of the jokes. I've heard them all. Talking about that EFL Cup final, no sponsor. Did you notice he didn't have no sponsor? Because I didn't. It's only when I found out who the sponsor was for next year that I realised.
I mean, don't forget, that's had Littlewood's Milk,
Coca-Cola, Carlin.
It's had everybody. Capital One.
They weren't selling the naming rights there.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be EFL,
yeah.
didn't they? And that makes
a bit like
Oh,
the
right,
Premier
okay.
League is now just the Premier League. It's no longer the Barclays Premier
Right.
League.
Well, they've got a sponsor in for next year. Maybe they just.
Who was it next year? Do you know?
Carabao, the energy drink.
Yeah, because their thing was this year. Remember, they rebranded, didn't
Right,
they? So the whole rebranding structure, they probably wanted their brand to be.
Well, Mike, your teammate are the champions. They've won the first trophy of the season. Jose's made history at United, which is what he wanted to do, by becoming the first manager to win a trophy in the first season in charge.
Just to dig at me, Arsenal.
Go for it.
I mean, I reckon we're gonna get more silverware than Arsenal.
Oh, shots
Do you know, just the bottom line?
Shots
Since Sir Alex
fired.
left for the last 3 seasons, I've not heard from Man United supporters.
Wait, they're
That's
back
fine.
in it,
They're
back
back.
in the
I
fold.
mean, listen.
We're back.
All jokes aside, I mean, as you said, Jose's done what he needed to do.
Yeah.
And all jokes aside, you can see on the graph where they're going. Okay, had a really good start, I thought, to the start of the season. Then I think it went a little bit downhill.
Unlucky with injuries, I thought.
Unlucky with
We
injuries.
did get tucked in by City, and that changed the mentality of certain
Absolutely,
players as well,
but
believe.
Jose does what Jose does.
He does.
You know, and I just love the way he handles some of his players. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but Marshall, who was a superstar before he arrived, has had to go back to basics. But I want to mention Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I've got to say that right now.
Revelation.
I was one of those that thought, you know what, he's an old man. He's done what he's done. The CV's fantastic.
Where's he going?
You ain't going to do it here, man. And tell you what, talisman right now for United. Comes off the bench against Blackburn in a cup tie, does the business, does the business as I thought he would. He's a big game performer.
Yeah, he is.
I think that's the bottom
He
line.
is, he is.
And I think that United now have the ability to add to their trophies this season. It makes me to say that, but there's a Europa League there to be won.
Yeah,
I've
very
looked
true.
at the 16,
Very
it's there
true.
to be done. There's a Champions League berth waiting for them as well, and there's a tricky away FA Cup tie to Chelsea, which I wouldn't rule them out of. You know, so right now, United fans, upward spiral.
No, I agree.
And as we've discussed on numerous occasions, if we're looking at every team in the Premier League, they're probably one of the teams with the best squad. With the bench.
No, I agree.
I can't remember the last time United lost.
No, well, it's about 16, 17 games.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what that does, that builds confidence.
In all competitions.
Fantastic.
Before we kick on to Rod's, giving us the games to watch for the weekend. Views on Claudio Ranieri. Do you think he should have been sacked? Was it the right decision by Leicester?
It's a tough one for me. I mean, the business of the sport. Yeah, he's got to
Simple
go.
as that, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got to go. I mean, the players ain't playing for him. They're not going to play for him next year.
Great win over Liverpool.
I mean, the problems were probably there from the beginning of the season when Vardy wanted to leave, when Mahrez wanted to leave. Get rid of the star players, bring in a whole crop of grafters and start again.
I mean, I watched that game here and the Leicester-Liverpool game, and first of all, I've got to say Liverpool was shocking. If that's a team supposed to be going somewhere with a Gen press and all that malarkey, I don't know what's going on there, but that's a different story. In terms of Leicester, what I would say is this. I think we've had several conversations about it. I knew they'd get rid of him, as Mike said. It's the business end of the game that we're looking at. Listen, yeah, we've won the Premier League with 5,000 to 1, etc., etc. But as business people, having invested an awful lot of money, they're saying, hold on a minute, we drop out of the Premier League And if you look at the Championship right now, there are some big teams that are falling out
There is,
who have never come back.
Nice one.
Makes sense.
Nice one.
Leeds, QPR, Norwich are in there, Villa are in there,
Villa,
Wolves are in there.
yeah.
Do you know what I
I
mean?
saw they lost 81 million.
There you go. So
Bradford
what?
are gone.
Absolutely. So I'm saying the Leicester owners are totally justified in doing it, and sentimentality goes out the window because it's business.
No, I agree. And as harsh as it sounds, Claudio's got to look at himself as well, isn't he? He's got to say, because obviously his decisions have preceded the terrible form. While the players are the ones that cross the line, and I think we all agreed, the onus is on them once you're on the pitch. The manager's got to be able to assess the strengths and weaknesses of his squad. And that's just not in terms of player power, it's in terms of mentality. You know, how can I motivate this team players out? But did they hit their peak? Because to me, there weren't enough changes to the nucleus of the starting 11 that won the title last year. And I think even the best, and I'm talking about Sir Alex Ferguson here, changed the team when they win a title.
And let's not forget Kante. Massive loss and never got replaced. Never.
I mean, I think
he's proved
Leicester. I
himself.
think Leicester have bought about 4 or 5 players to try and replace Kante in the middle of the park, and it's not happened. I'm not saying it won't happen, but as Mike has said, I mean, I think that's a scenario whereby Kante, who looks like he's going to win another title in successive seasons. I think we did it on The Voice a couple of weeks ago. The most valuable player in the Premier League.
Definitely. 100%.
So-
100%.
And if you didn't read that story, download the app because you can get back issues of The Voice as well as
Absolutely.
the current issue a day before it goes to the shops. Rod, your game.
Yeah, Premier League.
Look out for
Premier League is back. Opening game on Saturday lunchtime is the EFL champions of Manchester United.
Oh, wow,
At
we're
home to Bournemouth.
running out again.
I don't think there'll be any complacency. I think Jose will have them fired up. There's a Champions League berth to cement. So I would imagine United will win that one. Looking on the Leicester Hull, it's a relegation battle, isn't it?
Who wins that?
Yeah,
Leicester.
it will be Leicester. I'd expect Leicester to win that convincingly.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vardy opening goal against Liverpool is exactly what he did all of last season.
That whole
Counter-attack,
performance
bang.
against Liverpool was them last year.
Yep.
Drink water, the old lot.
The evening kickoff to take note of is a real battle royal. It's Liverpool versus Arsenal at 5:30. Now that one, Liverpool having just been woeful against Leicester. Arsenal, what am I going to get today? Anything could happen. Now you might recall that these games at Anfield between these two sides normally have a bag full of goals. You know, so this one 5-5 on a good day. Anything could happen there. Anything could happen there. Sunday, what do we have? Spurs Everton. Interesting one. Everton on the rise.
Our bogey team, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tricky game.
Yeah,
That one,
bogey team.
you know what? I've got an extra 50p. I'm gonna go for Everton.
Who's
on away
home?
win.
Spurs
Spurs are at
home.
To
home.
win it.
Yeah, absolutely. Spurs for me always have a
Bit of a wobble.
result
Yeah.
in them that you think, wow, what's happening here today?
But they just won the other day 4-0, didn't they?
Yeah, but that was on the back. That was on the
Four,
back
and it was
of
easy.
Europa League ejection, wasn't it? Come on, we have to go.
Pochettino needed a reaction.
Yeah, and with the extended weekend, the last game is Monday night. What do you think of Monday night football? Do you like
I
that?
love
Do you like Monday night football?
I love Monday Night Football.
I don't know. It depends who's playing.
Absolutely. Well, this Monday, 8:00 is West Ham Chelsea.
Oh,
Now, I tell you what, if you are a steward
I was going to say.
at West Ham, you're either trying to book a day off
Yeah, well.
or trying to up your money.
It's not that bad at West Ham.
I mean, listen,
Not
I
it.
was at the League Cup game, West Ham Chelsea, when it kicked off. This one I'd expect Chelsea to win still. I don't know. I think West Ham are safe. They're one of the few teams in the Premier League that don't actually have anything to play for. They're not going to go down.
Stoke actually as well,
Yeah. So it's a bit either or. But what I would say for West Ham is all credit to them because they were in a sticky situation not too long ago.
They were,
They had the
yeah.
Dimitri Payet thing going on as well. They couldn't buy a result. They've sorted themselves out. I think they're ninth in the table. So, but West Ham, Chelsea, all police leave has been cancelled. As I understand it. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to go for Chelsea to go there and get a win.
Yeah, not two sets of fans that love each other.
Yeah.
Let's love it that much. Have it that way. Well, listen, that's been the Global Sport in Colour Sports Magazine show, first edition. Thanks for all your support for those that have watched the first one and are going to continue to watch and spread the word. You'll see us on all types of platforms.
All types.
Guys,
Everywhere.
thanks for your support and thanks for being on the first show. See you next week.
Pleasure.
There you go. Respect.